But what we were talking about next is completely opinion, y'all. This
Right.
is some two girls. We just some girls. We gossiping. Okay.
Yes,
Tea
we
might be a little
kikiing.
hot. So what do you think is happening in Seattle?
I think everything they say is happening in Seattle is happening in Seattle. I think where there's smoke, there is always fire. You just have to figure out, is it a smoldering fire? Is it a dying fire? Or is it an active blaze? I think this is an active blaze.
You think it's and okay, so I had a little thought because I trust NECA. NECA, president
100%.
of the Players Association. She could be a double agent. She could be in there just getting information,
Yeah.
typing it in her little typey type, and then send it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? That
Yep.
could be because she is such a mission driven person. Not to say that that's underhanded because it's not.
It's
First
not.
of all, you want to make sure that everybody's following the rules. It's a part of your job as the president of the Player Association.
Mm-hmm.
But it just is crazy to me that all of these complaints are coming from a franchise that has the president of the player who just resigned. She resigned. So we had heard complaints last year. So she resigned over the thing. So what are your
So
thoughts
here's what I
around that?
think. I think NECA, for anyone who's been around NECA even for like a fraction of a second, she's very regal. Her motto is "Let me give grace." So
Mhm.
I think, and I think our society is kind of telling of that. I think that people, when they get comfortable, your position in life means nothing to them. They're
Yeah.
going to be who they are authentically are. And I think that's what's happening, because I would bet my last dollar that whatever's happening, NECA isn't going, hey, as a reminder, I'm president, right? She's not going to do that. She's going to, and like you said, she's going to be like, okay, on June 5th, on June 4th, on June 3rd, you know what I mean? She's just going to
Section
take a
3,
note.
Article 7. You ain't
Right.
supposed to be treating them people that way.
Right.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking is happening because that would
Mhm.
be, for me, it's the only way that we're seeing so much of it leak out. Like what
Mhm.
you're saying, like we heard the Skylar thing and Jewel came out and says like, so why would NECA still be there? And it's probably because she's helping to keep the order. I think, in my opinion, and honestly, it works better in Seattle's pocket to have her there
Mhm.
because then they can go against the WNBA things and all of these claims and say, okay, well, NECA was here,
Right.
maybe they won't get as much blowback. But I do agree with you. It's too many claims for
Mhm.
it not to be nothing. Do you
Yeah.
think it's Skylar Diggins?
So what had happened was, no, it's fine.
Yeah, girl.
I, Lord help me find the words. But yes, I guess is the short answer. Yes, I think that, again, she's a beautiful woman. She's an incredibly talented athlete, but problems circulating around her just tend to be what we know of her career.
Yep.
And so again, I don't think that, and sometimes you can grow from that. I think a lot of us have been at different stages in our life where we can look at and be like, Lord, I hope don't nobody
Mhm.
catch film from when I was that person,
Yeah. Twitter
So,
from 2003.
right. Listen, all of my Facebook until about 5 years ago. So I get it. And I'm not shaming her about that. One of the things that I really liked about her is when I was interviewing NECA right after the commissioner had that absolute bumble on MSNBC about not addressing racism and homophobia. Myself and Sabrina, who she was with, I don't remember, the Athletic, I think.
Mhm.
We interviewed NECA in the hallway. So this is where I will give Skylar grace. I think maybe she's just too over the top with her personality sometimes, but she stood in the hallway, and I'm a Scorpio, so you can't side eye me for too long before I say something. I don't give a
Mhm.
damn who you are. So I'm trying to interview NECA, and she's giving me the face. And I looked at her and I said, did you need something? She goes, I need to make sure you guys ain't saying nothing crazy to NECA. And I said, oh, bet. I like that. You're a good friend. And then
Yeah.
when I said that, like her whole face softened.
Yeah.
And then when we got done with NECA, she said, good job. I said, thank you. I appreciate you being a good friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think two things can be true at the same time. I think she can be an amazing, well, three things in this case. She can be an amazing athlete. She can be a great friend. She can also be a problem.
Yeah. I think all of what you said is true. I just recently had an interaction with Skylar Diggins at the Sparks, that scrimmage, the close scrimmage.
Yeah.
And she's one of the most intense people that ever walk by you. You feel
Like
me?
you feel her
You
presence.
feel her presence, you feel how serious she is, but she don't feel like a threat. It's like I kind of see a little bit of myself in Skylar Diggins, so that's why I give her a lot of grace on if people want to play with her or not, because it's
Mhm.
totally probably opinion. Like you said, I don't think she in there saying nothing crazy. I don't think any of those, like the bullying, or I think she's one of those people who, if you are on a team with her, she's gonna want to compete at a high level. She's holding herself to the same standard she will be holding you to, but it's not always best
Friendly.
for people's
Mhm.
other people's personalities. Like, I feel like people sometimes take offense to me because I'm loud, I'm very opinionated, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a small human, but my presence is big. So I get
Very.
that some people, they just, especially extreme introverts, they just be like, she a lot. That's what they say about me. She a
Yeah.
lot. I don't like to deal with it.
I think you're
And that's
just right.
cool.
I think you're
Right,
just
for
right.
us, but you know, to some people, so that's what I'm saying. In some circles or some jobs that I be having to find myself in more jobs that are entrepreneurial based, or people
Yes.
who are go-getters, and people with thicker skin, and people who are like used to rejection and saying, having no being said to them.
Mhm.
Because oftentimes, especially as a Black woman, they see it as a threat when you challenge what was excellence, when you challenge the
Come
system,
on.
when you
Yep.
all these things. So it's like, I am not one that's gonna be quick to give a bad rap to Skylar Diggins because you see her fussing and being sassy and she got into it with DT. Her and
Mhm.
DT got into it because her and DT the same damn person.
Exact same. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing, I love that you said that, because I've told people all the time, people close to me, I was like, I literally, the last two jobs I had before I started working at the Long Beach Post, both of those jobs had women on those jobs that called me a bully.
Yeah.
And it took me aback. I was like, moi? What? I think I'm the one of the nicest people on the planet. So, and then as I'm sitting down, with HR, which, by the way, I say this to everybody, HR is not your friend. HR is there to protect the
The
company. Just
company, they don't
keep
work
that in
for
mind
you.
at all. But I'm sitting there with HR, and this girl is going through like all the things I said to her and the times that I said to her. And I am so confused and bewildered because she's not lying. She's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And then HR is like, well, did you say that? I'm like, yeah.
I absolutely said that to her.
Well, why did you say that? What? Like we needed to do X, Y, and Z. She wasn't doing X, Y, and Z. I said, you need to do X, Y, and Z.
It's not
Well,
even,
it's the
it's
way you
accountability.
say it. Yeah. And this is the thing. My dad used to tell me all the time, from when I was a little kid to adulthood, may he rest in peace. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
And I don't think about how I'm saying it when I'm in trying to get work done. This is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
That's all I'm thinking about.
To Jackie, right? These are professional athletes who are going for a championship in a 48 game, season.
Come on.
So I hate the whole, oh well, she hollered. We all should be hollering.
Yeah.
The fans are the stake of the league and the CBA, all the things that you got are your feet are to the fire. You're
Have you
putting
seen
your
Caitlin Clark hollering while she's
all the time, cussing out the refs. Her daddy has even complained that she
like,
complained too much. You feel me? Luca do it, Bron do it. We see all of these people, and it's like the mean girl trope
yeah,
becomes a thing. And it's like, this is a high level athlete competing at the highest level in our country, in the best league in the world. And
absolutely.
you're saying it's hard to be her teammate because she like, you missed a shot.
Do you think that maybe, because this is always something I used to be fascinated about with my brother, I would see him with his boys, they would literally fight, not like argue, like
Yeah.
fist fight.
Yeah.
And then like the next day they'd be like, hey man, we going to, you come with us, we about to go. I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And I just think that women, just I'm generalizing here,
Yeah.
y'all, but in general, not all, but once we have that beef, then we just beefing.
It's a little bit more of a grudge. And I can agree with
Mhm.
you on that. I think that there are a lot of women who are usually the opinionated kind, like me and you.
Mhm.
Like, we could get into a disagreement and
Right.
be like, oh, I'm gonna call Trece.
Yeah.
So she
Girl, what
wasn't
you doing? You wanna go
disrespecting
out
me.
for a
She was
drink?
arguing the damn point. We ain't beefing. Like, it's a lot of us, but
Yeah.
I think it becomes a bit cliquish
Yeah.
because it's a team. It's okay. She embarrassed me and she embarrassed you. Two people with the same enemy. Them the best friends in the world, right?
Say that
So
again.
I'm not saying that the things didn't happen in Seattle. I think it's getting loud over there. I think they're gonna have to end up changing Noelle Quinn. Love her to death, but
And seeing the thing is, we losing too many Black women as head coaches. So can y'all get it together in Seattle for me, Please.
Seriously, because Becky made it out her little thing. She made it out her jam. You feel me? She came out unscathed as another woman who's a coach, because we also fighting for women to be coaches.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot going on. I want to see how this shake all out. I don't know a whole bunch of facts. There was some people up on TikTok educated me, and Lee requested to trade too. That was crazy. But I felt like I knew she was gonna request a trade because they drafted Dominique Malunga.
Right.
It's like, why you bring me over here if you was gonna bring this phenom who could dunk?
Right. What am I doing?